Hello students, I welcome you to this class SEN 201 Introduction to Software Engineering. As you can see, this course is 2-unit course, compulsory, with lecture hours of 30 hours, and I promise it's going to be an exciting journey taking you through this course. Now let's look at the content of what we are to discuss today. Today we'll be looking at software engineering concepts and principles, so under which we will discuss what a software actually is, what software engineering is, software design, software development, and testing. Now, come to think of it, we will start to ask ourselves, what is a software? Just a straight one. A software is a set of instructions. Technically speaking, you will often hear the word a program that performs operation and specific tasks based on the commands of the users. It means these are programs that have specific tasks to be performed on our computer depending on how the users use them. Example of some of these software, you might have been using majority of them and you might not know the category they belongs to or the examples. You have system software, which an example is operating system, device drivers, and we have application software. Some of them is a word processor, just like your Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and the likes. We also have web browsers, the one you commonly use to browse the internet. Also, another example or another category of software is programming software, such as the compiler and malware. These are examples of softwares. Now, talking about software engineering is the branch of computer science that deals with the design, development, testing, and maintenance of software applications. It means the word engineering is actually a branch on its own under the field of computer science. That is, software engineering is actually a major aspect under computer science, which covers the design, development, testing, and maintenance of software applications. And I would like to call your notice to this. I often hear some people say manufacturing software. Please let's take note, there is nothing like software manufacturing. You can say software engineering, which is good. You can say software development, and that's also valid, but there is nothing like software manufacturing. So someone who carries out the operation of software engineering or the activities of software engineering is known as software engineer. Okay, now looking at this from this diagram, you would depict that we have up to like 6 life cycles here, and in some textbooks or in some other resources online, you might find it not as specified here, but they all have to go around the same concept. For example, the first stage is the discovery, which you are seeing in this diagram here, and this discovery covers you just coming up with your idea, putting your idea down into paper, like just planning, and coming up with the modalities in which you think the ideas can come to reality. Now it then moves into step 2, which means we move to the design stage. Software design, this is the stage, or you can say it's also a process to transform user requirements into some suitable forms. It means at the stage 1, when you are discovering your idea, when you discovered your idea, you start putting down your requirements. Okay, I want the application to be able to do this, to do that, and so on. Those are your requirements you are putting down. That is stage 1. Stage 2, which is the design, that is where you transform those user requirements into suitable forms, which helps the programmer in software coding and implementation. So example of this design stage, example of what or categories that you can classify this design stage into is the interface design, that is something like sketching out, mapping out how you want the software to look like, how many pages or how many interface or how many user interface they are going to have itself. The architectural design, which is going to cover the conceptual workflow and the likes of the software, and also detailed design, which is going to help the programmer to be able to develop the software in the exact way you have actually planned it. So talking about software design, it is actually putting down the concept of the software in a form that will be easy for the programmers to interpret and implement. Now, the next stage is the development. It means the development stage is going to take its input from the design stage. Now, this development stage is the stage which the actual operations comes to life. That is, the programmer carries out the main activity of developing or implementing the software. You will often hear the word coding and the like. So that is what it actually means. The development stage is the coding stage, let's put it like that. Now this involves the interface development, the interface that you have designed, because you see the design stage, you can interpret that like the prototype stage as well. Now this development stage is bringing that prototype into reality. So the development stage is bringing the software into reality. Interface development, application development, or API integrations, because some of the applications might need to interact with third-party APIs, which means application programming interface. Okay. Now you see, after the software might have been developed, the next thing that follows is the testing. We need to test the software to be sure that it actually meets up with the requirement at the stage 1. At the stage 1, it means when you are testing, you must have your test case, because you want to be sure there's what we call quality assurance. You want to be sure that when you are releasing your software to the market, or when you want to start using your software, it does not fail the main purpose it is expected to serve. So that is why you see the testing stage involves application testing based on test plan and test cases. Now integration and quality testing, you also do that testing. Client acceptance tests are carried out also. It also involves the usability testing and the likes. Okay, client feedbacks and debugging. So under testing, all the errors that might have been discovered will be corrected, and the process of you identifying or investigating errors and correcting them is what we call debugging. Okay, just to keep this short, you can see that at stage 5 we have what we call the release stage. When the software passes the testing stage, you release the software into the market, and you make a schedule for constant maintenance, that is constant update. In some online resources or some textbooks, you might see it as update and maintenance and the like. So maintenance also covers update, and that is where you keep track of new technologies that you need to use to upgrade your software that is already in existence. Thank you very much for listening, and I promised you by the time we'll be meeting again on software engineer, introduction to software engineering in this course, you will definitely have more knowledge, and this is just to give you an overview and background to introduction to software engineering. If you have your question, you can drop your question on the virtual learning environment and it will be addressed. So thank you.